a person of color looking to get a loan, a job, or avoid police harassment? Please call the 1-800 White Man Privilege Hotline now. Our roster of white men will come to your rescue in almost any situation. It seems like every week I get an email from someone demanding to know why there's no White History Month or white entertainment television, or why whites aren't allowed to have organizations that defend our interests the way people of color are. You ever find that the only time your race or gender is questioned is when you're not a white man? I think white men get upset, they get a little nervous, like if a minority gets a little power, because they're scared that that race is going to do to them what they did to that race.
To get to school every morning, I had to drive through a government housing community and several other mainly black neighborhoods. I was driving to school, doing the speed limit, and being passed on all sides by other cars with African American drivers. I saw some police lights turn on behind me. This is where I had my first taste of reverse racism. Wait, is it reverse racism when a racist is nice to somebody else? That's reverse racism. I think what you're afraid of is called karma. Following a series of violent interactions between the police and black Americans across the nation, we witnessed the rise of a movement designed to bring awareness to these issues. Unfortunately, the Black Lives Matter movement was met with a response from mostly white Americans: all lives matter. The rhetoric of this counterculture often invoked the term reverse racism, claiming the Black Lives Matter movement is seeking to place blacks above everyone else. In their July 2011 article, The Journal of Intercultural Communication, Camera and Orb highlight the difference between momentary discrimination, which everyone experiences regardless of race, and culturally reinforced institutionalized racism that is perpetual in the lives of minorities. Yes, reverse discrimination does occur and should be battled at every turn, but there are no institutions that reinforce the constant power imbalance, privileging the black minority. Through the poetry, 1-800 White Man Privilege Hotline by Denise Froman, Calling Black by Anonymous, Dear White America by Inez Smith, The Prose, Reverse Discrimination by Mark Orb, White Pride and Other Delusions by Tim Wise, and the drama, Reverse Racism by Wanda Sykes, and Why Reverse Racism Doesn't Exist by Kelly Kitagawa. A program, because reverse racism isn't real, and by invoking the term, you reinforce that which you seek to destroy. So reverse racism doesn't exist. Chances are, if you're claiming reverse racism is a real thing, you're a white person who has been insulted or discriminated against because of the color of your skin. That sucks, and I'm sorry that that happened to you, really. But the reason that is not racism is because it is not reinforced by years of societal values or holds any truth of social realities. I've left Earth in search of darker planets, a solar system that revolves too near a black hole. I left a patch of dirt in my place, and many of you won't know the difference. I left in search of a new God. I do not trust the God you have given us. Black privilege is being so unique that not even God will look like you. Black privilege is still being the first person in line to meet him. At job interviews, we can give you that special seal of approval. Our white men will vouch for your intelligence, and you won't even have to remove your dreadlocks. For Black and Latino men, we recommend our escort service. With Chad by your side, you will never have to worry about stop and frisk again. I assumed it was one of those speeders, so I moved to the side. The police car moved into my lane, so I pulled off the road. I sat in my car for a good bit of time until the police officer finally came to my window. I remember very clearly that I had all my info ready for him to run and greeted him with a warm hello. The officer was African American. It's like if you were making fun of someone because they couldn't walk, but they really could walk, so they would just get up, brush it off, and be like, well, I can walk, so screw you. But if you were really making fun of someone who couldn't walk because they couldn't walk, that insult is then reinforced by their reality, which makes that insult have so much more weight. Whites are somehow oppressed because we can't get away with calling people of color any number of racial slurs. a litany of which the author then proceeds to recite almost gleefully. While it is certainly fair to point out that their use is always inappropriate, no matter whom they're directed against, slurs against people of color not only sound more hateful, but have been operated in a more hateful manner by forming the linguistic cornerstone of systematic oppression and institutionalized racial supremacy. I leaned out the window and said I hadn't been speeding. He didn't respond. I continued to look over my ticket. This is where I discovered what reverse racism was. The officer, without even looking at me, he said, "You're in the wrong neighborhood." He then took off, leaving me there thinking, what was that? As a white person, you won't ever have to worry about whether that cop is there to help you, or incarcerate you, or kill you. Have you ever just wanted to call in black to work? I don't know if you can relate, but maybe your mornings are a little something like mine. You know, they go a little something like this. Because you're millennial, you instinctively begin scrolling through every newsfeed dashboard and you slowly start to notice something. Another unarmed black person assaulted and or murdered. Why does it always have to be about race? Because you made it that way. Because black girls go missing without a whisper of where. Because Emmett whistled. Because Martin preached it. Because it's taken my father's time, my mother's time, my sister and my brother's time. How much time do you want for your progress? Black privilege is a myth, a joke, a punchline. It's the time a teacher asked a little boy what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said, alive. And the way she laughed when she said, there's no college for that. And it's tiring, you know, for everything about my skin to be a metaphor. For everything black to be pun intended, to be death intended. Yes, all lives matter. But we're focused on the black ones right now, okay? Because it's very apparent that our judicial system doesn't know that. And if you can't see why we're exclaiming Black Lives Matter, then you are a part of the problem. Every reblog, retweet, and repost of citizen video footage that ultimately will never see the light of a courtroom. Watching the same narrative play out over and over and over and over again takes a toll. Sometimes I need a minute, okay? And that is where calling in black would be so clutch. Hello? Oh, no, it's not allergies, it's just I need a solid day to reaffirm my humanity to myself. Oh, no, it's not contagious, it's just I just watched the police choke somebody to death and I know that they're not going to go to jail for it, so I'll see you tomorrow. As a white person, you won't ever have to experience racism. Because racism is institutionalized oppression. It's a social construct. It is not something that is decided by one specific person. Please, do not ask our white men about their privilege. They have no idea they have it. Call the White Man Privilege Hotline now. Note, we only accept MasterCard.